Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ali Powell. I run a consultancy all about boosting private paying occupancy called Commercial Acceleration. I work in care homes all the time, all over the country, constantly in my car driving. Luckily, it's got aircon. And yes, I also work in retirement living and hotels. So today, thank you very much for joining. We are going to be looking at how to increase private fee-paying residents in a way that feels practical, human, and achievable. So yeah, we'll cover how families find you, what builds trust, and what helps them feel ready to take that next step. So we'll start with this diagram, which is just a nice visual here of the customer journey that our care seekers are going through. So it's not just a single activity, as we know. It's so many different touch points. Families may find you through your website, for instance, Google, and then social media, adverts, word of mouth, local events. And the important thing is that each stage works together well to to complement each other, to layer in. People need to feel a reassurance. They need to feel like they can trust you in this highly emotive decision. And it doesn't just stop there at move-in. Also, happy residents and families, they become part of your future marketing through the power of reviews and referrals, recommendations. So it's all about attracting the right demand. It's easy to focus on getting more inquiries, but as we know, volume doesn't equate to quality inquiries, these private paying inquiries that we want. We want them to be the right fit inquiries so that they're the right fit for our homes, our care offering, our location, and our fee levels. So that really means being clear here. We know marketing is a lot about the target, hence the diagram here. Being clear about who do you want to attract, what do they care about, and what would make them choose your home versus other homes. So when your marketing is really targeted, your inquiries become stronger. So therefore your show rounds then can feel more purposeful and your conversion rates improve. So the key to this is all about consistent quality lead generation. And it is about a rhythm of consistent lead generation. It's not just, oh, we've had a sudden net loss, we better just turn on marketing now. It's consistently thinking about what are the different levers. And I've put some examples here on the screen that represent online and offline marketing. But what are the different levers that I need to have on or always on? And that will constantly drive me this rhythm of quality leads that I want every month. Some would hope to have 20 to 25 quality leads a month per care home. So the aim is to make sure that all these touch points in our marketing mix feel joined up and that they provide reassurance. And we will want to be clear on who we're targeting, and then that the message is the right message and it's consistent across every channel. And when it is, families start to recognize you, they trust you, remember you, and that's what will create better inquiries, not just more inquiries, but better quality inquiries. So just to ask a rhetoric question here, I find it interesting to sort of say, well, do we all know where our inquiries come from? Well, I mean, this could be a whole webinar in itself, but families rarely inquire from one touch point. They might find you on Google. They might have looked at you at carehome.co.uk or read reviews. And there's, different layering that goes on, but also being clear when we can about asking people when we're on the phone or tracking all the different sources of where did these inquiries come from. We then can dial up what's working and do more of it. So some of you will have CRM systems that will track the data source if you ask for it on the phone to say, well, how did you hear about us? And then you can analyze your quality leads to see what are the main sources of marketing that are working for you. And also, another source I always analyze is the actual admitted residents to see where did they come from. But yeah, just a rhetoric question because many people unfortunately don't have the data or insight to be able to understand what has been working for them. And that's a great source to know, well, just do more of what's working as well. Um, okay, so let's go now into the actual journey of marketing here, of attracting these private paying residents. And it usually has three stages. They need to find you, then trust you and feel confident enough, therefore, to contact you. So let's put this on a visual here. So let's look at the behavior of the private families who are searching. So we want to take them from being able to find us in the first place to feeling that they are more emotionally engaged and attracted to us, that we've provided that reassurance of this critical life-changing moment they're going through, to be able to trust us. And then ultimately, we need that connection. We need them to contact us somehow. So let's talk about those. So easy to find you. There's many different sources that we're going to come across online and offline where people can be finding you. And it would be good for you to look at all of them and think, do I come up? Is that visibility enough for our care home? Can they find you in the first place? So, using some of the sources listed here, Google, online directories, some of the main review channels, ChatGPT, and all the other AI versions that are coming out. Can they find you? And then also, is the right information there? So that moves us to the trust you. A lot of trust is built online before people even want to come in for a visit. So there's various means we can do to build the trust here. We can ensure that we've got reviews. These could be reviews on review platforms like Google or carehome.co.uk. They could also be lovely testimonials on our website. We could have our own video testimonials from the residents, the families, and employees. And then these other areas I've listed can also help to building trust. So blogs and guides, will come to a bit deeper in a moment, are really critical to say, I've got this pain point, and please answer it for me. So it could be, how do you fund care? Oh, great, you've got a guide on it. What's the difference between dementia and your care and residential care? Okay, here's another answer to that question. So yeah, we then hopefully have established trust through all these different ways, and we ultimately then will have a successful contact, that someone will phone us, they will fill in an inquiry form, they will book an event, they will attend a visit. So that's what we're really wanting to do. And hopefully you are all measuring the lead to visit to see how successful is it. So how many leads do you get a month, quality leads? And then also what is your percentage of leads to visit? And hopefully it would be great if it was over 50% conversion. Okay, so then we've listed many different marketing channels. We know there's sort of 15 or 20, and it's not about just being on everywhere. We want to be having the most excellent return on investment, so that we spend our pennies very wisely and smartly to make sure we get the return on investment. We know one resident can equate to £100,000 a year. So the return on investment can be very significant when we get it right and put our money in the right channels. So I want to talk to you about some of the good sources that I work with various care home to to optimize because we know that they work. So the first area here is around search, around Google, Google Business Profile and online directories. So the website is often your, your first shop window, your first showroom. Families may be visiting it late at night. They might be feeling worried, guilty, stressed out, unsure. And this is where content really matters. So we touched on just previously about what can we provide from a content point of view to make sure that we answer their needs and build that trust. So we have guides, blogs, FAQs. They should answer the questions that families are already typing into Google or sort of quietly worrying about at their homes. The fees, dementia care, can couples stay together? What does daily life actually feel like? Um, so yeah, good content isn't just about getting traffic. It helps the families feel calmer and clearer and more confident. So, we put a question on the screen there about when did you last search for your own home as if you were a family member? That would be a good exercise to carry out to see how do you show up. So, looking at where you would rank on Google from an organic point of view, do you come up on the first page? Do you come up last on the first page? Do you come up from a sponsored ad point of view in the top three? That's an interesting exercise to do. And then on, Google Business Profile, looking at that, many business Google profiles I go to are totally outdated. They haven't been updated for 5 years, and they might just have one Google review in the last 5 years. But we know that Google is absolutely essential to AI search, AEO. So that's really needs to be optimized in terms of putting your best foot forward, images, information, videos, as you would with an online directory. Online directories are certainly a source for search. So for all the online directories that you are on, it would be great to know that those profiles are optimized. So your images, for instance, don't just show product centric, cold clinical images, but they're full of beautiful daily life showing the joy of our residents and team members. Okay, so let's talk about another source of inquiry here. So we now talk about website and website guides and helpful content. Sorry, just trying to make that go quiet. So we've touched on website before, but yeah, just to keep reiterating this point here about, there's a whole book written on it about the questions you ask and do people answer those correctly. So websites, guides, and helpful content are hugely important for attracting and converting private paying residents. Families want to know what other people have experienced, and particularly families in their position. So the websites can provide a wealth of great information in terms of blogs and guides to reassure people and provide that transparency of information that they're looking for. So yeah, a question we asked is if someone visited your website at 11 o'clock at night, feeling tired, worried, and guilty, would it calm them down, or would it just make them have to go to all these other places, go down like a black hole, to make them have to keep searching for that knowledge that they're seeking and the reassurance in this very, very vulnerable time? So then if we come on to a third really critical inquiry source from a marketing point of view, is reviews and social proof. So we know that people ask around in all industries, people ask friends, families about their thoughts and opinions. And reviews are certainly where people are actively looking and seeing what do other people say about it. So there's different review sites. There's Google, there's carehome.co.uk, there's OpenScore from Autonoma, and others. And it would be good to have a look at those and see, have I got a regularity to those? So ideally, you'd have 2 reviews a month. And how positive are they? And you can go out and actively ask people for reviews more. Some of these sites obviously have like postcards, but then you could be putting them on your email newsletters or social media to ask people to share their thoughts more. And then a fourth channel I wanted to cover is community networking. This is often one that is a very untapped opportunity for the care home I'm visiting because it comes down to controversial points sometimes around, well, who's actually going to be doing that? That people have very busy day jobs, but community networking is absolutely critical. Strong local relationships can create really warm inquiries because families often ask people they already trust for recommendations. And we put some examples up on the board here, what we mean by community networking. I would suggest you build a list with at least 50 different relevant organizations for each of your care homes. Could be a collection of local groups, churches, community spaces, GPs, hospitals, hobbies and interest groups like bowling clubs, golf, bridge, um, groups relevant to the specific demographics we're capturing, the U3A, Women's Institute, etc. And then thinking, how well known am I with these? So the homes that are doing this best are going out actively twice a week, and they're forming these relationships and they're inviting them in to events and they're attending their events. And it's just a constantly great way of nurturing. Okay, so we've gone through 4 really great channels of inquiry then. Now let's bring it into the second area of the initial diagram we touched on about is it's not just then about being found, it's then about people having an emotional connection with you, trust. This critical trust. It's like we're in the business of trust. To then think, will my mum be safe here? Will will she be understood? Can I trust these people? The trust is built through everything they see and experience. Your website, reviews, social media, the first call, follow up, and the way they feel when they visit and have the follow up. So lead generation only works well when visibility is backed up by reassurance. Getting seen is only the first part because we know that families are making this high stakes decision. It's emotional. It's a really difficult point in their life, and they need to feel safe enough to take the next step. So, how do you build trust? Well, that trust is built through the wording they read, the photos they see, the reviews they check, the way the phone is answered, the feeling they get on the tours, the way that the follow up was done creatively and timely and human. That is all a way of creating trust, and it's absolutely essential to have it dialed up as high as possible. And then another key point then is about speed. Now, I often talk about the leaky bucket, if you sort of follow me on LinkedIn. It is just dreadful to lose leads through a leaky bucket. You've done all this effort to fill the top of your funnel with some great high quality leads, and then you're building the trust, and then leak, 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 leak. Um, and we really don't want leak. So there's all sorts of reasons where we could be leaking out that we'll go through here. Could be a terrible phone call, could be an out of hours phone call that never got answered. could be a really poor tour, could be just no follow-up at all. So many moments. And that's just the customer experience side. On the marketing, I come up with leaks all the time. The other day I was trying to ring someone on their website, the phone number that was provided, it was their fax number. So that was an example of something that could have maybe been changed. Don't know how long we were all using faxes ago, 5, 7 years ago. So the leaky bucket is just a great analogy that we use. And I would ask you, do you know where your leaky buckets are? I'm constantly doing mystery shopping for people and assessing all those customer journey touch points to say, where is the leads leaking out? We need to cherish those leads. Those leads are golden. Um, and where could we dial up? So are they finding us well enough? Great. Then do they trust us? And then what? Are we responding quickly enough? Speed is often a big barrier, a big leak that we didn't come back to them within 5 minutes or that we never followed up. Um, we need our experience to match what we promise. Care starts, from the very first point of the customer journey. And yeah, as I was saying, it's definitely so linked to the whole customer experience. To attract and convert private paying customers, we need all of the moments in the touch point working. So yes, from the first website click, but to someone feeling after their visit that they really felt valued, seen, and heard. It's all these small moments that build up trust. So I've put some on here on the slide. Being offered a nice hospitality touch when you come in for your tour, um, having thoughtful follow-up, using someone's name, um, having your name remembered often. These are all moments that will help to provide an excellent customer experience that would set you apart from competitors. So yeah, bringing this webinar to a sort of close now. I'll open it up for Q&A, but yeah, it's just good to ask yourself from what we've talked about, is there anything that you were reflecting on as we spoke about? Well, maybe there's one of those marketing sources. I mean, as we know, there's 15 to 20. Is there one that you thought, oh, maybe that's something I should look in a bit deeper that I need to improve? Or a leak in your current inquiry journey that you think you might want to action that? So thank you for that. I'm going to come off the screen now and open it up.